Jai Hind viewers, I'm Brigadier Advitya Madan and welcome back to my channel. I just finished reading 33 pages on America's National Security Strategy, which was published on 4th December. This is formulated and submitted every year to the US Congress. Let's very briefly analyze what changes in the national security policy have been brought about by the Trump administration after a geopolitical churn of events in the last 1 year. To begin with, it seems that USA has adjusted to the new geopolitical environment. Let's analyze it region-wise. There are 5 regions: Western Hemisphere, Europe, Africa, Middle East, and Asia. First, the Western Hemisphere, comprising of Latin American countries. The USA's national security strategy has now focused more on the Western Hemisphere, identifying basically 3 threats, that is, migration, drugs, and crime. Perhaps this justifies the statement by Trump yesterday, that is 19 December, that he doesn't rule out war with Venezuela. While referring to the Western Hemisphere, it says that non-hemispheric competitors, maybe it hints at China, they should be pushed out of the region. Talking about Europe, here the Trump has also mentioned about the Monroe Doctrine. You remember that it was initiated by USA's President James Monroe in 1823, wherein it had warned Europe not to interfere in the Latin American affairs. Even USA had assured of no interference in European colonies at that time. USA also seems to understand that for peace in Europe, Russia's concerns have to be addressed. That is what is driving Trump to agree to the demands of Putin in the ongoing Ukraine deal. It also wants Europe to stand on its own feet and take the primary responsibility for its own defense. Surprisingly, in the paper, USA has made no mention or territorial claim to Greenland or Canada. With regard to Africa, the new policy says that USA should transition now from aid-focused relationship to the trade-focused relationship, exploiting Africa's rich natural resources and critical minerals. Coming to Middle East, USA is focused on keeping the Strait of Hormuz and Red Sea open and navigable and keep Israel secure and prevent any threat from the terror outfits who by and large have got neutralized or they have got weakened, shall I say, in the recent Israel-Iran conflict. Talking about Asia, in the earlier national security strategies, USA's primary concern was the strategic competition posed by Russia and China. Now there seems to be a change. It talks of restoring strategic stability with Russia and China. That, I think, explains recent reconciliatory gestures of Trump towards both the countries. USA, though it wants free and open Indo-Pacific for sake of America's economic interest, but it is not inclined to play much of a strategic role in Asia. USA acknowledges the importance of Quad, but at the same time wants to preserve mutually beneficial economic ties with China. The paper also mentions that it will deter the conflict over Taiwan by USA's military superiority, but it is quick to add that USA will not support any unilateral change to the status quo of Taiwan. The threat posed by China to USA is mainly seen through the economic prism. Here is the catch. Yesterday, that is 19 December, Trump signed National Defense Authorization Act, called NDAA, authorizing expenditure of $900 billion on defense and security by USA to ensure the maintenance of free and open Indo-Pacific region. It indicates towards expanded engagement with India in 2026 through Quad to ensure free and open Indo-Pacific, to maintain equilibrium with China, or maybe to contain China in the disputed waters of South China Sea. It seems from the paper that USA will try to forge partnerships with the countries across the world only if it has economic advantages and not based on geopolitics alone. Since the document doesn't consider Russia and China as threats to USA, I think it is time that India should also accordingly reformulate its strategic equation towards China. When I compared this paper with the 2022 National Security Strategy, there is a stark difference I found. It does not mention of rules-based international order, nor it ever talks about international laws. This strategy seems to be more inward-looking. It gives an indication to me that the USA is not willing to travel an extra mile to sustain the global order or carry the global burden in terms of monetary contributions towards various international organizations, which was in its earlier doctrine. There are many takeaways for India per se. India has to do the tightrope walking when it comes to its relations with Europe and Russia simultaneously. India has to make endeavors to stabilize its relations with China while maintaining its strategic partnership with USA, despite of tariffs turbulence in the recent past. Overall, it seems that US military will focus now only on the Western Hemisphere, play a small role in Asia, and evolve its relations with other countries based on transactional economic reasons. The paper seems to indicate that USA will become proactive only and only when its core interests are at stake. Thank you, and do subscribe to my channel. To the point.